Calvin Castine outside of Champlain Centre's north. It's Monday, June 29th, 2020. There are some cars located in a parking lot here. It's approaching 10:30 a.m. Best Buy was closed to the public for many weeks. You could order by phone or app and they'd deliver out the door to you, but a couple of weeks ago they were able to reopen and have customers going in. Target over this way has been pretty much open. Many of the tenants here at Champlain Centers were able to remain open if they had an outside entrance. Some did, some did not. But all the ones inside have not been open since mid-March. And it's starting to take a toll. So there's a press conference here today to discuss what the future holds and to chart a course, I would guess, to get the governor to allow businesses such as Champlain Centers to reopen and allow customers in. On my way here from Champlain, traveling on the Northway, we passed the no one passed us. Normally on a late June day we would pass a half dozen Canadian vehicles and a dozen or more would pass us. The U.S.-Canadian border has been closed to non-essential traffic since March and is going to remain closed till at least July 21st. A large part of our economy relies on our neighbors to the north, so even reopening these stores right now would not solve all of our problems. That border has to be reopened. But by opening shortly here, they could get it right by the time they are allowed to get the visitors from Canada to come through. They would have it pretty much worked out on how to do it safely here. So there's a press conference. Several leaders from the state, from the county, and the town, and from the mall will be talking at this press conference.
Everybody here? We all set? Everybody get your mics up here and your cameras ready? Ready for action? Okay. I'm Gary Douglas, President and CEO of the North Country Chamber of Commerce, and on behalf of the Chamber and all who are involved in pulling this together today, thank you for coming. And I know we have a number of owners and employees of impacted businesses with us here that some of you should talk to afterwards as well. On the health and on the reopening fronts, New York is doing well, and the North Country is doing especially well. Our entire business community has taken an extraordinary hit of unprecedented proportions, particularly our small businesses, our family-owned businesses here in our own backyard. But I suggest they have done so with extraordinary patience, understanding, and a shared resolve to do things right to get our region through this in a way that is safe and healthy for our residents and for their employees. There has been no recklessness. Their collective approach to reopening has been and is a model for every region in the state of New York and for every state in the Union and for our neighbors to the north as well. What I'm saying is we've been doing things right, and that needs to be to our credit. Our business community is very much a part of doing things right and having the determination to open in a cautious and careful and proper way according to guidelines. What they need are the guidelines, of course. They have done all they can to help and work with their employees. I can tell you that firsthand. We've worked with dozens of businesses here in the area on their health insurance benefits and other aspects of really bending over backwards, particularly our small businesses, to help their employees through this and to try to help them retain their benefits and to make sure they and their families are going to be well, and they deserve credit for that. They have supported one another in a great many ways, often unseen how one business has assisted another with some information or a loan of some kind of equipment or assisted, reached out the North Country way of neighbors helping neighbors, and by supporting the strength of a chamber that can work on behalf of the entire business community, and we appreciate that. And they have been committed to reopening correctly, as I said. We have now conducted 39 training seminars at the Chamber related to safe reopening for our regional business community. Over 5,000 participants have gone through those programs, and dozens of them have then sought technical assistance, answers to questions, wanting to make sure they do things carefully and do things right. And they deserve recognition and credit for that. And we suggest, with all of the foregoing in mind, those not yet reached in the reopening process have earned the right to communication, information, dialogue, trust. There's a word that they've earned. I think our business community as a whole has earned on their behalf. Support and hope, a very important word in the course of facing an unprecedented existential threat to what for many of our small family-owned businesses is a life-changing experience for them, something that they put their entire lives into developing and wanting to carry forward on behalf of their families and on behalf of their employees. Here at Champlain Centers, the mall interior still awaits guidelines, but most big box stores, including some of the large mall tenants, example next to us, with direct entrances, have been allowed to open. Many of the big box stores never closed. They were allowed to reopen, or they were allowed to stay open as essential businesses through this whole time. Large-scale retail environments, never an issue, never a day of closure. We must understand the frustration of all employers, but especially the small local businesses who are trapped in limbo in this mall and in others in the North Country. D&D Hair Salon still closed 4 weeks after every other hair salon in the region was allowed to open. I can go to a hair salon anywhere in the region, but I can't go to that one I can see right beside those doors. 4 weeks longer than the others had to bear being closed and having their employees not being able to return to work, having their customers go and perhaps find services elsewhere, creating a risk to get them back. Really, an existential threat. We need to remind ourselves of that. These are existential threats to businesses that we value, that are part of our community, and the families that own and operate them. And the small retailers, already more than 4 weeks dormant, beyond the time that other small retailers in the area were allowed to reopen. It's time to finalize guidelines, and there is no reason, none that I'm aware of, to expect that Pyramid and other major mall property owners in upstate New York are not fully ready, fully able, fully capable to fully comply. We don't know what the issue is. There certainly have been many others who lacked the capacity and needed an awful lot of help. But companies like Pyramid are ready and able to do what's right. Just tell them what's expected of them so they can get on with doing what needs to be done. If there are, in fact, any remaining details to resolve, surely an urgent, collaborative dialogue can resolve them. Let's have that dialogue starting today. And if New York doesn't want to link mall interiors to a phase, and let me say this also applies to gyms and movie theaters and some other types of businesses still left in limbo as well, then start with the lowest risk region. The state has from the very beginning said it's going to do this on a region by region basis. Well, if you're not quite ready to reopen mall interiors in downstate New York, start with the region that is the lowest risk and has done the best job of being prepared for this. Open in one region, let it be the trial. Work with this region, open here first, if you're not ready to go statewide. That would be wholly consistent with policy as stated. The Chamber has already worked with some in the mall to understand and meet their sector guidelines and to prepare their individual business health and safety plans. We're prepared to work with all businesses in the mall to do that. In fact, would suggest if any haven't done that, they should do that now, so that when the mall interior is able to open, their plan is in place and they're ready to do so, and we stand ready to assist them with that. Let's move on. There's no reason for any further delay, particularly in knowing what the plan is. Tell the malls and the businesses in it what the framework is, what the metrics are, what the timeline is that you're trying to work under. They need to know with some transparency what's happening and how this is going to eventually resolve itself. If it's not today, then what are the things that are being considered with some sense of how long it's going to take? They deserve that. Everyone deserves that. At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce our Assemblyman who organized this event and brought us all together here today, Assemblyman Billy Jones. Billy? We didn't touch.
Yes. Thank you, Gary, and thank you all for being here for this important message that we're providing here. It's a simple message in a very complex time, we realize that. But the message is, let's level the playing field here. Let's level the playing field for these small businesses and these employees that depend on those businesses. As Gary had mentioned, we have big box stores with outside entrances, and nothing against those big box stores. They employ a lot of people here in the North Country and provide a service. But how unfair is it that our small businesses and their employees cannot open back up right inside that building when other businesses around here can? It's unfair. We want to level the playing field, and we should do it today. We're calling on the governor for guidance with this. We have earned it here in the North Country, as Gary had said. We have the lowest levels of state of positive tests for COVID-19. We've been through enough. We've abided by the rules. Now we need to open up this mall for these small businesses, the employees, and the services that they provide. As Gary had mentioned as well, they have been left in limbo. We were expecting in phase 4, but some of them in phase 3, that we could open up. And that has not been provided to us. It simply has not. So provide us with the guidance. We have proven here in the North Country that we can abide by those guidances. We've done a great job, a fabulous job of doing this. We really have. Our people have done it. Our businesses have done it. We have proven that we can do this. We can open in a safe manner. We, as Supervisor Cashman is going to tell you in a few minutes, I'm not going to steal his idea, well, maybe a little bit of it, but I think we can here in the North Country be a pilot and provide the guidance for other malls to do that, because we have earned that right to do that. We've earned that right because we have opened up businesses in a safe manner. We have abided by the guidance that DOH and the governor has provided. And as Gary has said, those guidances have gotten us to this point here today, where we all are doing things in a safe manner. Other states, you see test and COVID positive patients spiking. Not here in New York. We've been closed down. We have paid the sacrifice. Now we need help in opening up. We need that guidance from the governor's office. These small businesses behind you, I'm going to keep my remarks fairly brief. I want you to reach out to them and talk to them on what they have gone through and how they can prove that they can open up. As Gary had said, we can look right inside there and see businesses that are open all along here, the same type of businesses, and how unfair is it to them that they can't open up. We want to see that. He had also mentioned other areas, movie theaters, bowling alleys, things that we feel that we can provide, that we can open up in a safe manner here in the North Country. Let us prove that we can continue to do this. We have proven it, and we shall continue to do that. So please, 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 we're asking for the guidance from New York State, from the governor's office. I will say, from this point on, with a few hiccups, we've done a pretty good job at doing it. We have all done a good job. We've earned the right to open up these businesses inside this mall. So please, we need further guidance. We have to have it. We have to put these businesses back into circulation here. We have to level the playing field and let these employees do their jobs. So thank you everyone for being here, and I'll turn it over to my colleagues. I believe up next is the Clinton County Chairman, Mark Henry.
Thank you all. Thank you for being here today. One of the disadvantages of going to the end is everything's pretty much been said, towards the end I should say. But one of the advantages of going towards the end is pretty much everything's been said, and I can keep my remarks short. But they are important. Not necessarily my remarks, but the issue here today. It bears repetition. First, I'd like to thank Assemblyman Jones for his leadership on this issue in putting this important event together. I'm very pleased to join with Billy, with Gary Douglas, and Michael Cashman, and all of you gathered here and calling on the governor to make a decision to open this mall. There are, I think, approximately 50 businesses located here in this mall. Many of them are small businesses, which along with their many employees are frustrated and still facing uncertainty about their futures. They have waited patiently these many months through phases 1, 2, 3, and now 4, with no answer yet in sight. These businesses are still closed due to the governor's executive order. We are awaiting his decision. It is critical that that decision be made soon and that this mall and those businesses be allowed to open. We urge the governor to act quickly as possible so that these business owners can safely reopen, salvage their businesses, and put their employees back to work. The Clinton County Health Department is ready to assist these businesses and them all, as they have so many others throughout this county, to ensure that this reopening may be done as safely as possible. The Health Department is prepared to review safety plans, interpret guidelines, and offer suggestions so that employees and customers can shop and work here as they currently do at so many other places. In closing, thank you for having me here today. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to strongly support the efforts to get this mall, these businesses, and their employees back to work. Thank you. Sorry, Michael. I forgot. Our next speaker will be Michael Cashman, the supervisor of the town of Plattsburgh.
It's all right, sir. I'm always the forgotten and redheaded stepchild, so. Good morning, folks. It warms my heart to see so many people out here in support of this much-needed topic. I could stand here and I could, do some chest thumping or rail against the injustices of people being not able to open their businesses. I don't want to do that today, from my perspective. I don't even want to talk about the loss of sales tax revenue and what it means for our economy. What I want to talk about is getting the businesses back open. What is the path forward? Plattsburgh has led the region and New York State many times over. Let this be another one of those moments. We have been very fortunate to have very low cases of COVID-19, and that is because we have taken a community approach. Nearly 20 years ago, I moved into this region from Massachusetts. I saw what the spirit of the North Country people could do. It was after the ice storm, people rallied. From the Irene, and Sandy hurricanes, we've rallied. We've rallied during COVID-19. Now is another opportunity for us to be identified as a pilot program to lead the state. New York State needs to identify this mall and these businesses so that we can take these practices and make them best practices across New York State. I'll give you an example. My wife, originally from Long Island, has gone to the Sunrise Mall down in Massapequa. The size and scale is nothing compared to this, and that's not to diminish what we have here with our businesses. Why are we put in the same box? It's inappropriate, and it's damn right angering and furious. It's soul crushing. The marker has changed time and time again, and we've heard there's no phase 5. But I argue when you have a phase 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, you might as well have a phase 5, right? So, I'm asking, I'm pleading that New York State identify our region to work with our Clinton County Health Department, our local elected officials, and most importantly, the courageous and professional business community that has done it time and time again to prove that we can do it with the public health interest in mind, but also open our economy in a way that is going to be beneficial for the long term. So my commitment on behalf of the town of Plattsburgh, my commitment on behalf of the region is that we will do everything that we can and to be dogged in our approach. But we need New York State to be a partner right now, more than ever. So I look forward to, and in solidarity, I haven't got my hair cut yet because I said, actually, true story. While I don't get my hair cut here, I want to share a story in a sense that the individual that does cut my hair rents a chair at another shop. And I talked with a number of people in the region, and as things were developing, the day that they were supposed to open the first time around, we thought 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Everything's just gonna be up and running. And that goalpost changed until later at noon. And then each of these phases have had subsections. So we can spend time and energy chest thumping, or we can spend time and energy creating good practices, and I'm confident Plattsburgh can do that. And you have a partner with us. We know that there's partners out there. Now New York State, we need you to be part of it. Thank you. Hold it, Mark Henry. I'd like to invite Mr. Greg Nephew from Lake City Hobby up.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending this press conference. I'd like to thank all the officials, Assemblyman Jones, and all of our local officials for participating and being here as well. 3 months ago, myself and everybody else that's in this mall had no idea what to expect when the edict came down from the state that we needed to close. We didn't know how long it was going to be. We didn't know what our circumstances were going to turn out to be after a period of time, and there was a lot of uncertainty. As things progressed, we were told that limited retail would be available in phase 2, which was on May 29th, supposed to be opening. I and other stores in the mall geared up for that opening. We bought inventory. We made changes to our stores to meet the requirements that had been recommended. We did all the things that we were asked to do, and we had a bombshell dropped on us 12 hours before we opened. We were supposed to open, that we couldn't do it. Now, small businesses are not like these big corporate chains that you see next to us, and again, we're not picking on the big corporate chains, but the small business owner in this community, like myself, and the others that are in the mall, which are numerous, okay? Business models have changed over the years. Shopping malls are no longer only corporate stores. They are made up of small local businesses as well. These local businesses have come into the malls to serve a purpose. The malls had empty stores. They've made opportunities for local businesses. It was beneficial for both parties. Now the local businesses are being penalized because of that. We feel this is extremely unfair. We'd like to know what we need to do to get open. And at this point, there are a lot of us that are in danger of not surviving. We need our weekly sales revenue to pay our bills, to pay our employees, to pay for our inventory, and to live. This is 3 months now that we're dealing with this. Most of the small businesses that are in this mall are not equipped for this kind of a shutdown. We're not able to withstand this long of a period of time. So I'm asking the state and I'm asking the governor, please give us guidance on what we need to do so we can do it. That's all we're asking for. COVID-19 doesn't discriminate, but we're being discriminated against because we're inside of a shopping center. The air filtration system in this mall operates the same as the air filtration system in any big box store. So there is absolutely no valid reason that I can see. I'm not an engineer, but I've spoken to people who are, And they've assured me that if that is the concern, it doesn't need to be. So that's really all I have to say about this, other than the fact that I'm proud to be involved with Pyramid. I think they've done an outstanding job of getting things on track. Their guidance has been first class. I lend my support to all the other local businesses here as well too. We have families in the community. We support community events. When your Little League teams need sponsorship, who do you go to? You go to the local business owner. When your drama clubs need sponsorship for advertising, you go to the local business. I've done that with many. I know other businesses have as well. Please give us the opportunity to continue to operate the way we normally do. We're not asking for special treatment. We're asking for equal treatment. Thank you.
I just want to make one last point because I can't shut my mouth. But I think the big misnomer here is, and we're all going to get hit over the head by some residents in our community, you know, saying, well, you want to open up and whatever. I think the big misnomer here, when you talk about malls, is that it is, and as we've all stated, that it's the big corporate businesses, that it's the big box stores, and nothing against them, but these are small mom and pop business owners. These are minority and women-owned businesses. These are the backbone of your community. Just like out there on Main Street, these are businesses that depend on being open to pay their bills, to pay their mortgages. I want all the press and everyone here to look at the faces of these people in back of you. They depend on these businesses being open. They depend on the local economy here, on how they can open, pay their bills, pay their rent fees, pay their mortgages, and live, as Greg just said, live. They want to live and be a part of this community, and they are doing that. But 3 months is long enough. Everything we have done has been done in a safe manner here in the North Country. We have proven that we can do it again. Let us do that. We're calling on the governor to provide us guidance. As Michael had said, if you need someone to provide a pilot program, we can do it here in the North Country. We've proven it. We can do it, and we will do it. Let's do it today. Let's get these businesses open. Thank you very much.
I'm supposed to provide a closing. That was the best possible closing. I'm only going to point out for our friends in the media that some of the independent businesses that are in the mall, some others are with us. Rhonda Durham, Titherington, and the ladies from D&D, raise your hands. They'd be happy. I know they'd be happy to talk with any of you afterwards. I believe the owner of Bookbird Books is here somewhere. No? Oh, okay. And others who are here. Raise your hands if you're with businesses inside the mall and you'd be willing to talk to our media friends. So please talk to them to get some additional perspectives, and thank you all for coming. We'll be available as well.
Excuse me, because of the restrictions, about 500 of those 900 employees are still out of work because of the restrictions of the entire mall not being able to open. I mentioned to a couple people that I think if we did reopen now here in this business, if and when the Canadian border reopens, they'll have done some work here, they'll have laid some groundwork, they would know what to do to take on that larger amount of business and traffic if they're able to open before the border reopens. So another reason to get out there and get this done. So hopefully this message will reach the governor's office, and he'll start treating the North Country with some respect and reopen places like Champlain Centers and so many other local businesses that are still closed due to restrictions. I know a lot of places around the country reopened too soon, and the safety precautions weren't taken, but if proper safety precautions are taken, there's no reason why a business in a situation like this can't reopen. So, Hometown Cable, Calvin Castine, a TV worth your support. Thank you for watching.